So to start out, you have to go to the website and log in. Everybody will have their own unique login, which you do, you just haven't done yet. So we're going to go to GOTCC.org. Okay. And it's just like every other WordPress installation, for the most part. Sometimes people have different logins, but you come up to the top here where it says .org and add /WP-admin and then hit return. And then it'll come to this screen. Now, it says login with GoDaddy, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work with any of my clients. I don't know why GoDaddy thought that this would be a brilliant thing. And I guess if you have one site or one website, this is great, but you'll have to log in with your username and password manually. Okay. And which I gave you, and I'll help you with the username password when you're ready to do this yourself. But I'm going to log in with my email and my password. Now log in. Okay, and you're familiar with the dashboard, right? This is the dashboard. Okay, posts, media. This is where you put all the images, pages, and the like. Now, for the most part, when we're doing any type of post or any type of information at all on the website, what we want to do is use a post. Yeah. And the reason we use posts is because we can tag them. And by tagging them and giving them categories, not only does it help their search engine results, but it also fills out the information on various pages because I've designed the site. So this is showing a blog post, right? This slider is a blog post, right? The ads are not a blog post, but the newest member section also are blog posts. And that's one of the things that you're going to be working on as well. So I'll show you how to do that as well. The other thing that are blog posts are this whole section right here, news and events, right? So you can see here, this is the same slider that's on the front page. It's just not full screen. And then all the other news stories that we've recently posted, including new members, right? Or information about members. So let's go back to the dashboard. To create a new post, you go to the post sections and then say, add a new post.
Yep, I did that my internship.
Right. Okay. You add your title here. Right. And you put the meat and potatoes of your post here. So we're going to say body copy. I'm just doing this for giggles, right? And so this would generate a really boring, bland page that doesn't look that exciting. Let's take a, for instance, I'm going to go grab somebody else's blog post real quick that I just did this morning. Let's go do Jim's. All right. So let's see. So if I'm just going to say Jim, and I already have a photo that I can use. I'm just doing this to show you the difference in quality of the blog posts in its imagery. So let's say, I formatted the text and here it goes right in the text and there's the title. And even if I want to add a featured image, let's go here and just grab any old image that I created. Right, there's a pretty picture. Right, beautiful photo. And when you add it, do I need to go over adding it quickly or no?
Adding a photo?
No, right? You know how to do that?
Yeah, I know it.
Okay. Because this is what you do, but you can add tags and so let me back up one more time and show you. So like if I add this photo, if you add alt text, captions, and descriptions, that'll also help the search engine optimization.
Yes, I know that.
Right. So that's where you would want to add keywords. Right. Okay. So we're not going to do that for this purposes. But let's just say, okay, here's the post that we want to do. And I'm going to say preview so we can take a look at it. And, it's pretty, boring. There's not a lot going on. But let's compare it to you know, it doesn't, we don't see the image, we don't see, you know, a lot of stuff that's happening here. But if we go, let's look at news and events and pick on another, open up another one. So this one has 2 columns, has tickets that they can buy, it has a gallery. I didn't create this page, otherwise it wouldn't look as, you know, messy as it does, because this would be full screen, full width at the bottom. Okay. In comparison, and it would also have the featured image. Let's find one. Let's go back and see if I can find one that I did. I think I did this one. Okay, so yeah. So this one has the title at the top. It has the title again down here, has the copy, it has a link to register, and then see how this goes full width.
Yeah.
Right. So minor tweaks, but you know, this makes a difference. So instead of just copying and pasting and throwing my text in here and saying title, right? What I would do is use the Divi builder. And the Divi builder is a theme builder that allows us to customize the page using a series of tools. The great thing about it is once it's made, once a page is made, we can just copy and paste it and then edit it, which is great. So if you have a design that you have in your head and you want to build it from scratch, this is the hardest way to go, right? If you're not sure what you want to do and you want to use a pre-made template, there are literally hundreds of templates that you can choose from right in here. And it's amazing. And then you could just edit and tweak it. But since we already have our brand established, our page is already established, and we have a look that we want to continue, right, for consistency, we'll clone an existing page. And if you hit clone an existing page, it shows you, hey, look, this is all the pages that we've set up. These are all the posts that we've set up in the past. So like you'll see, here's a new member post, you know, this is a new member post, right? And then some other posts for the slideshows and what have you. I'm going to use the Ansel Adams one because it's a recent one, and it's easier to use something that's more recent, generally, because I probably tweaked the design from the first time I did it. The first time I did it, the design might not look as nice as the most recent time. Not always, but you know. But you just click this, and it'll say, hey, do you want to use this layout? And you say, use this layout. And voila, now it's loaded the entire page. So like if we preview this now, it's going to look exactly like the other page that I just showed you, except it says title because title's not filled out, right? But it did everything exactly the same. So like if we go back here now, there's a couple of ways to edit it, and I'm going to tell you all about that now, because this is very confusing, right? All you see is blocks, right? So what the heck are you doing? So if you click return to standard editor, it will erase everything on the page. So that's probably a button that you don't want to choose, right? Right. The button next to it is build on the front end, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Build on the front end actually lets you see what you're working on while you're working on it. So you see the page and you can select the type and you can change the images while you're looking at it. So it's very handy. Over here, you're going to see some other tools here. This will let you zoom in. This is the interface that we're currently in, which is the Divi Builder theme, the Divi Builder backend, right? Over here, you'll see this is what it's going to look like on computer. This is what it's going to look like on a pad or a tablet. And this is what it's going to look like on a smartphone. Come on, come up. It's not coming up, but a smartphone preview. If you click this button, it shows you what's on the page, and it allows you to edit this. If you notice the colors here, like when I mouse over, this is blue, this is green, this is gray. Like, let's go back to the view with the Divi Builder view. This is blue, this is green, this is gray. It all follows this color. These colors indicate what's happening on the front end of the page. And these are all the different divisions of the page. That's why this is called Divi, because it breaks the HTML code into little divisions. That makes it easy to edit. So there are, let's go back over here so we can say, so like this is a section, the blue is a section. And within the section, you'll see a row. And I'm going to close this up a little bit so you can see. So you can see in this section, there's multiple rows. And you can add a new section by clicking here. Let's just say you had to add something else that you wanted to. And the section is basically an edge-to-edge section of the website. Now, we're using a boxed layout, so you'll notice that when we look at it, there's a white border on either side, right? But let's go back here. But this could be purple also, and I'm jumping ahead too far, right? Within the section, there's a whole bunch of rows. Rows are sort of self-explanatory, right? And we have rows with different things. This has an image. This will be the text and the banner ad. And I didn't label these, and I really should. And then the last row is the gallery where all the photos exist. Okay. I'm going to go over the tools over here, and then we'll talk about, content later, just so you know. This is the move tool. If you had multiple sections, you could just click and drag this. And this is the copy tool. So I'm going to copy this just so you can see. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to edit this section just to name it something different. The admin label, I'm going to say section 2, right? So I'm going to demonstrate the move tool. So this is section 2, and I want to move it above, and bang, it's done. That's how you move stuff around. Okay. The gear next to it I just showed you is the editing tool, right? So inside each one of these divs, there are a number of settings: content, design, and advanced, right? And each layer, so this is where Divi can get a little confusing, because sometimes I even have trouble finding where is that setting. Is it in the section? Is it in the row? Or is it in the module, right? That is actually controlling it. So like you'll see if I click on here, you'll see content, design, and advanced, right? So sometimes, and then again for the row, content, design, and advanced. And these are custom CSSs. This is sizing and spacing, and you'll see they're all consistent pretty much throughout. So like once you master it, you'll understand, once you've done with it, you worked with it a little bit, you'll understand. But for instance, you can't add, well, you can't add text into this section, right? Into the section thing. You have to have a row and an image, a row and a div. So if you wanted to add text to the section, you'd have to hit the plus symbol, come over here, and find the text module, and then you could add your text. And then if we preview that, we'll see. There's the word that I just put in, test. Okay. I'm going to delete that now. And I'll delete this section. I showed you the gear, and we'll go into detail about the gear later, because that's when you're going to be using for the most part, but we'll come back to that. I'm just going over the rest of the tools. Right, then we have the copy tool, which I showed you. You can copy sections real quick and easy. Obviously, the trash can removes those sections. I didn't want to remove that. I did that by mistake. I want to remove this. Then you have this. This is called the save module, right? And you can save the module. You could save the row, or you could save the whole section. Why would I want to save that? So let's say I use something quite frequently. Let's say it's a button design. The button's designed, and that button is always orange instead of blue, and it always uses this font instead of this font. And it even has a link that I'm going to use on a regular basis. What I could do is say, okay, I'm going to create this, and I'm going to call this, image 15, and I always use image 15. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this to the library, right? And the reason I'm going to save this to the library is because I want to use it on multiple pages. So I could go to another page now and say, add from library, and look, there's page 15, and then image 15. So if I click on this and say, add this module, it will retain all the design that I've had.
Mhm.
Right? So I don't have to format anything. It saves me a lot of time. There's one thing that you can do beyond that if you're saving is say, I'm going to call this global image 15, right? Now, if I turn on global image 15, or if it was buttons or what have you, it would all still work the same way. But then I hit save, and now it turns this weird color green, this limey green. What this means now is let's say I'm going to copy this a couple times. 1, 2, right? So now we've got 3 images, and we'll preview it. 3 images here, all the same. The top one is not global, but the other 3 are. Okay, what advantage is this? So let's say, on a single page, not a whole lot, right? But if we moved that image over to multiple pages, or let's say it was a series of buttons, and let's say that button is on 40 pages, and I don't even remember what pages they're on, but I need to change that link because for whatever reason that button changed, or that image is no longer the image that we want to use for that subject. What I can do is come in and hit edit, and I'm going to trash the image that's there, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to find the image that I put up for Jim and say save. Now, when I save this, and I'm going to go over saving because it's a little confusing. Now that I saved that global image, when I preview it, all 3 of those images will be changed. Instead of seeing Ancelabs, I don't have to change it each individual time. It was saved 3 times. It remembers it as a reference and then translates that out to all the pages where that global item exists. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So this is really handy when I'm working on things like navigation or footers or just registration pages and things like that. All right, so let's go back here and trash. So I think I've covered everything I want to cover for as far as tools go. So let's take it to the next step. So now we want to create the page that you're working on, right?
Mhm.
So we can work in, I'm gonna, like I showed you this view, I'm gonna show you the other view. Let's go back. So build on the front end. We're gonna click that. It takes a minute to load. Okay. And now, when we're in this mode, you'll see all those different
Mhm.
things. And to edit the title, well, we can't edit the title, but we can edit this section, this row, or this image. You just click on the image, and okay, we don't want that image for this blog post, so we'll trash it. And we'll go find the other image, and I'm not using the right image, but we want this image, right? And we insert it into the image settings. And then you have to hit the green button to say, okay, save it here. And that will save. You do the same thing for the text. Come in, hit the gear, select the text, replace the text with the text that you want to put in, hit save. We don't want this section here. Let's get rid of it. Okay. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't talk about. I just noticed. So we don't want this here, so we're going to get rid of it because we don't have any sales or registration for the blog post that we're talking about. So I removed it.
Mhm.
You say, oh, but wait, it looks stupid now. We moved this out of the way and everything's still truncated into this 2/3 column, right? So if you notice, the one difference between, you know, the blue and the gray is we have an additional icon, and this is the columns icon, right? So we'll click here, and you'll see these are the different structures. I can click here and it makes it even narrower, or I can make it full width. And there it is. So it fills the screen. Minus the sidebar, right? But we leave the sidebar up on just about everything because we usually have a lot of promotions here. So we add our image, we added our text, and then we come down here to the purple area and we publish, and then it's live. Now, you say, but how does it get to all those sections that we were talking about? You know, let's go back to edit the post, right? No, I'm going to save it just so I can, we'll take it down. I know it's live on the website right now, but whatever. So let's go back to edit the post. So the post is actually out there, but it's not being seen by anyone except for the people in the news section. Like, so the news in advanced, it should be the first one here. And it's not, because it's not, okay, because these are loaded with, never mind what I just said. It's not being seen because we didn't give it any categories. So I'm going to close this too. Let's see, go away and go away. All right. So you're familiar with categories, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are a couple key categories, right? There's events. There is new members, right? If you make this a new member, it'll show up on that front page. And what's the other one? Oh, and featured. So events will just get you on the blog page.
Yeah.
Okay. New member won't put you on the blog page. It'll put you on the front page, but down at the bottom. If you say featured, then you go into the slider on the home page at the top. Right? Okay. And that, if you hit update, then that becomes, let's go to the home page while this saves. There's title, right? There's the blog post that we just did, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to leave it like this. We're going to take it down instantly. So like, let's just make this uncensored, uncategorized. Okay. You can add tags. Tags do help it get found. I don't know what tags, you know, like depending on what you're writing on, what you'd want to do. You'd probably want to mention Ocean Township. You'd probably want to mention Chamber of Commerce. You'd probably want to mention some keywords that are featured in there. There might be some, you know, there are some keywords already in there. If you want to use any of these, you just hit Ocean Township and then it's added to the story. Okay. Did we talk about featured image?
Yeah, you put that picture in there.
Okay, so you know that featured image. And then you hit update. Do you have any questions about any of this?
No.
Okay. That's basically it. And I don't know how long this took us, but it was very short. It was less than a half an hour. But that's all there is to this. I just updated again to pull it out of the thing. But actually, why don't we go to all posts and just delete this whole thing so it doesn't get messed up. Trish. So I'll stop the recording and let you go ahead and try and do it. You should do it right here. That way, as you walk through it, if you have any questions,
Yeah.
you know, I can talk you through it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stop this share, stop, and end.